guy come up to you and ask you for an interview, and you say,
Okay.
you
I
say
said
yes.
sure. Okay.
Why'd you say yeah? There had to be some sort of thought process behind it.
Oh, I always tell people I'm too busy for these sorts of things, and I was just walking, and I actually wasn't too busy, so I was like, sure. Here's the time that I give somebody a chance.
Okay. And so why would you say you're too busy? Is it the New York lifestyle, or you just think you don't want to talk to random people on the street?
Well, generally I am too busy. I just had like some time to kill.
What'd you do today?
I went to the gym, played some video games, talked to my family.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And what do you do? What brought you to the city here?
I'm an attorney. I came here for work, I guess.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
So how long you been here?
About 7 years.
And what's been your favorite part about the city?
The people.
That's kind of the exact reason I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So why would you say the people? Because there's so many other great things too, like the food and.
Yeah, it's. I lived in a lot. I moved every 2 years. I was a military brat, and then I also was in the Army, and then I transferred schools. So I just moved a lot.
Okay.
And I've been around a lot of different people, and New York has a lot of different people and lots of types of people.
Yeah.
But for some reason in New York, people tend to gel and be kind of egalitarian and sort of, communicate with each other. Sometimes those interactions go bad, but I think people in New York tend to be more open to each other and different types of people.
And do you think that's just because there's so many different types of people here that they think it's fine and everybody has seen everybody else? Or why do you think that is?
It's so big, and it's just, I think, ingrained in the place. I mean, some places are very structured. You go to like Boston, people have known each other for a while. They're not necessarily that open.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's sort of like with if you look at like the skyline and stuff, you just see a lot of different types of buildings.
Yeah.
It's kind of together, and like you have something really fancy and new, then you have something fancy and old, and then you have something like less fancy like next to it,
Yeah.
and they all just sort of it's just one street, and then those are your neighbors. And so I feel like in New York, people come to the city and they just adapt to that.
So you've been here 7 years now, and after moving around tons of times, being in the military and as a kid as well.
Yeah.
Is there a city that you could compare it to whatsoever, even abroad?
I mean, there's the common comparisons of like Paris and London, or LA, but it's just so different. It's not really like any of those. I mean, it's American. It's denser than like LA or even London is, and that the denseness and the egalitarian nature is just not London. And then I mean, Paris is just so foreign to me. It just seems so different. I mean, maybe if I was like, if I spoke French, I could like integrate there more. But to me, it just seems so different too.
Have you ever wanted to learn another language? Obviously, you've been around all the time.
Yeah, no, I don't care to learn foreign languages.
Okay, why is that?
It just, some people, I don't know, there's certain things that people associate with the ability to learn foreign language, like being musically talented or being good at math, and I'm not good at those things either.
Okay.
So I feel like maybe there is actually a connection between them, and it's a connection of things I don't like.
Okay.
I've never been good at it, so I just haven't invested in it.
Do you not, because this is the way I am. I hate being bad at things, right? So I like anything I choose to do, I like to be really, really good at it. Is that kind of the same way you are, where you'll pick something up only if you think you can really be good at it, or you just try a bunch of different stuff too?
That's a good question. I like to lean in and try new things, but at the same time, some of those things that I tend to gravitate towards are things that I, probably know I'll be all right at. Like just 3 or 4 years ago, I picked up yoga.
Oh, it's excellent.
It's about like constantly putting yourself in an uncomfortable position and kind of like relaxing and telling yourself that actually, even though this was a strange, uncomfortable position, it's actually something you can adapt to and you'll be fine.
That's really interesting. Yeah. And so have you found that it's made you maybe more spiritual or more open? Because I've heard that some people do it, they started off for exercise, kind of for the wrong reasons. It's supposed to be a connection between yourself and the world, and other people, they don't see it that way.
Yeah, so I'm like, working out has kind of been a big hobby that's kind of stuck with me through time. And so I think I started it with this idea that it would be a good way to work out. And I've tried meditation and things before, but I get tired of them and I have trouble committing time to meditate because I am not good at it.
Okay.
But combining the physicality and the mental like headspace, putting yourself in that moment, focus on the breathing and nothing else, and just listening to what the instructor says, like it allows me to get to the mindfulness, the meditation through the physicality.
Okay.
So
do you say you do it to release stress from work? Is work the biggest stressor? Or do you find things other things in your life are bringing you to yoga to have that as a release?
It's work and social life. I mean, it's life, like, your life at work and your life outside of work. So yeah, it's everything. But I mean, work stress is probably a big one, and it's good to be able to make it to something like yoga, or take some time for yourself.
So that kind of brings me to my next question. I've asked it at every interview so far. In your entire life, what has been your greatest struggle?
My greatest struggle? I don't know. I feel like moving around a lot, building lasting, deep friendships and connections with people. I figure that I always feel that that's a challenge.
And what's been a common theme between the very strong friendships that you do have from abroad or domestically?
Oh man.
Yeah, we're getting deep today.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there's my family I'm really close to, and then I don't know. I'm gay, and so I've made a few close gay friends over the years that I'm really close to. It's hard to say why those gay friends have lasted and others haven't. I don't know. I mean, we really do like sleep with each other, so there's
with a couple buddies.
Yeah, so there's definitely that connection, and that somehow navigating the complexity of like sex and friendship. Some people just approach those things in a similar way as you, and maybe those are the people that I'm able to like maintain long friendships with.
Interesting. I kind of have the same relationship with some of my friends, male and female, so I understand exactly what you're saying. And now I'll flip it. I don't want to talk about struggles the whole time. What has been your greatest triumph in life? I always like asking this as well.
Greatest triumph.
Still recording? Yeah, thank God. I've been fucked before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, just that I, keep going, I guess. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, in some ways, I feel like I've accomplished certain things. I've overcome certain things. But I wouldn't say any of them individually is the greatest accomplishment. I mean, maybe if I had kids or something like that, okay. I would say that. But I think it's just the collective, continuing to go despite difficulties and just sort of persevering through them. I mean, I don't know. I would try to say something sappy like not losing like hope or changing yourself, but I think all those experiences changed you, and you do lose hope at times, but you just keep going. And yeah.
So would you argue that you would probably be more of a one increment at a time builds up a person rather than one life moment? Tough question.
Yeah.
Really weird question.
Yeah. I mean, and I think everybody's probably that way. I mean, a few people might define themselves by a few key experiences, or I think being a parent would be a big one. But I don't necessarily have anything like that. I just think I'm more of a collection of experiences.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And if you had any advice that you wanted to give to people moving to New York, or anybody who's seeing this that's in any other country, to say this is what New York is like.
I mean, it's the land of opportunity. I mean, there's so much here, so many different types of people. I don't know, just come with an open mind, okay. And try to maintain that open mind even when you find things that don't make you comfortable.
Excellent. And so my friends yell at me, I probably should splice this into the beginning. What brings you here to Brooklyn today? Like, you live around here?
Yeah, I live around here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what brought you to Brooklyn in the first place if you lived anywhere else in the city?
I lived in Hell's Kitchen, the Kitch, for 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, my friend started calling it that. I think it would be great, and people should call it the Kitch.
Okay.
But it's actually not that bad of a neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right next to Central Park. Like, during the beginning of COVID, I ran in the park every day.
Okay.
And this just was awesome. And it's easy to get around the city. It's like a distinctly gay area, and I like that. So I think Hell's Kitchen's good. But I came out here to buy a place, and I think the value think it was like Sex and the City years ago, and like every New York-based show had this whole thing about like moving a little farther out of Manhattan, and like finding like more value and people being happy. Like you can get more bang for your buck, you get more space. All that's been true.
So that's a really key question. My friend Grant and I talk about this all the time about life creep, right? Where you get bedroom 1, and then you move out here and you buy a place to get bedroom 2, and then you feel like you have to work harder to pay for bedroom 2, so you try to get a new promotion, and then that makes you more stressed, and then you get bedroom 3, and then you fill bedroom 3 with kids. Do you feel any of that life creep coming up on you?
Oh my God.
You're
oh my God. So I'm actually just debating leaving my current job to go to this other job that would be a lot more work, but a lot more money.
Okay.
And I'm debating right now. This weekend, I have to make a decision. Basically, like, am I gonna give up this extra freedom and this extra time to be myself? Am I gonna give that up to make more money? And also, long-term professional development. It would be a good move. But I'm literally trying to question that. And one of the factors is, I bought a place and. There's things I'd like to do to it, and if I didn't have that place, I would have one less thing sort of telling me I needed to make more money.
So if you had, let's say you could forget about that and, money wasn't an object, you didn't have to be an attorney, and you could, release a creative outlet and follow that path, what would you say you could do? You turn the other bedroom into an art studio or something.
I don't know. It's something I've challenged with. I mean, if giving somebody advice is that I haven't followed, but that I think would probably be good, is if you can find an artistic hobby and probably invest yourself in that and early on in life, and then sort of continue. I think that probably pays off in allowing you to have an outlet for creativity. Okay. I don't really have that. I would say, I don't know. We go to weird parties and wear crazy outfits and stuff.
I do the same thing. No jumping here.
I feel like that might be as expressive as I get.
Okay. And do you feel like that, gives you, let's say, arbitrarily half an hour's worth of freedom where, I've been in clubs sometimes where you walk in, and sometimes you're in the West Village, and you walk in and everyone just looks at you, and it's not very cohesive. But over here in Brooklyn, over in Bushwick or something like that, you walk into a place that's really welcoming, and you could flail your arms and dance around anybody. Is that kind of what the feeling you're going for?
Yeah, I tend to go to these certain gay parties, and they tend to have a certain vibe. Everybody takes their shirt off after 2 hours, okay. And there's a progression, and then everybody kind of, there's definitely a lot of looks. There's certain looks that have different effects on people. Some are fun and playful and engaging. Yeah. Some are just kind of intense.
I know you said you like working out, right? Is it hard to navigate the city in that way? Do you feel like you're working out so you can keep the body up, so you can get those looks at these parties?
Well, so I do think there's maybe some people that do that, but I think working out's great. It's a good time to invest in yourself. It makes me feel better. Okay. I feel like there is definitely an association between the mind and the body. I feel like if I work out, it gives me more capacity to, deal with complex ideas, but also, really stress relief. Yeah. And then getting around the city, it's really great because if you have a membership for a gym that's all over the city, it gives you kind of a place that you can stop in.
That's interesting. I never would have thought of that. Because I do body weight workouts at home and stuff like that, and I'm just, I guess, kind of cheap.
Well, so if I have brunch plans in, say, the Village, I would just go over to the Greenwich Village Equinox, awesome. Work out, and then go right from there, shower and stuff, and go right over.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So super convenient, and I guess that's what makes it really, really easy for you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. This has been excellent. If last question, if you had to come up with a fake name for yourself, what would it be?
Johnny Cannon.
All right. Well, I'm here with Johnny Cannon. We're in Brooklyn, and thank you very much, man. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, you too.